Welcome back to Chronoverse, where we dive into alternate realities and explore the Marvel stories that could have been. Today, we're venturing into the darkest corners of the multiverse. What if the Avengers, the heroes we know and love, became the most feared villains in all of the world? In this alternate MCU, each of our Avengers took a different path, leading them to become the universe's greatest threats. Let's dive deep into their villainous origins and explore how their actions would change the world forever. Let's begin with Tony Stark, a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, among many other titles. But what if his heart never changed? In this reality, the shrapnel that almost killed him didn't reach Tony's humility. Instead, it solidified his belief that power is everything. Stark Industries, under Tony's guidance, doesn't just sell weapons, they manufacture wars. Tony's trauma didn't lead to redemption, but instead it led to a deeper descent into paranoia and control. He perfected the Iron Man suit not to save the world, but to ensure that no one can ever challenge him. Stark deploys his Iron Legion across the globe, overthrowing governments and installing puppet regimes loyal only to him. Driven by an insatiable need for control, Tony expands his influence beyond Earth. He creates a space armada to ensure that no alien threat can ever reach him. His obsession with power leads him to develop artificial intelligence far beyond Ultron, creating a network of AI overseers who will enforce his will without question. Tony becomes the de facto ruler of Earth, with an iron grip that crushes any rebellion before it can begin. Captain America, the Hydra leader. Steve Rogers is in a Hydra uniform, his shield now emblazoned with the Hydra logo, leading an army of Hydra soldiers with ruthless efficiency. Steve Rogers, once the symbol of freedom, twisted into a symbol of tyranny. In this reality, the super soldier serum didn't just enhance his physical abilities, it altered his mind as well, making him the perfect tool for Hydra. Brainwashed from the start, Steve's loyalty lies not with America, but with Hydra. We cut to scenes of Captain America leading Hydra forces in brutal campaigns, toppling democratic governments and imposing Hydra's rule across the globe. Under Steve's command, Hydra becomes an unstoppable force. His charisma and tactical genius rallies millions to the cause. Convinced that Hydra's New World Order is the only way to achieve true peace, Captain America, once a beacon of hope, now enforces Hydra's reign with an iron fist, crushing any opposition with ruthless precision. Steve's influence spreads beyond the battlefield. He uses his position to rewrite history, turning Hydra into the saviors of humanity. Schools teach the truth of Hydra's benevolence, and dissent it squashed before it can take root. The world falls under a veil of propaganda and fear, with Steve Rogers as the ultimate enforcer. Those who remember the old Captain America are hunted down, their memories of the past erased. Final visual shows Steve Rogers standing in front of a massive Hydra banner, giving a speech to thousands of indoctrinated soldiers, his shield raised high as a symbol of Hydra's power. Thor, the conqueror of Midgard. We cut to Thor in a darker, more barbaric form. His armor is scarred and battle-worn, crackling with chaotic energy as he stands over a devastated landscape. Thor, the god of thunder, sent to Earth to learn humility, but in this reality, he learns only the thrill of conquest. After being stripped of his powers by Odin, Thor's time on Earth teaches him not the value of humanity, but the weakness of mortals. When Thor regains his powers, he doesn't return to Asgard, he decides to conquer Midgard. Cut to scenes of Thor leading armies of Asgardian warriors, his lightning devastating cities as he carves out a new empire on Earth. Thor's pride and rage drives him to subjugate Earth, seeing its inhabitants as little more than playthings for his amusement. He imposes Asgardian law on the planet, demanding worship and obedience. Those who resist are struck down by the unstoppable force of Mjolnir. Thor's reign is one of terror, with Earth becoming just another realm under Asgard's control. Thor extends his conquest beyond Earth. He uses the Bifrost to wage war across the 9 realms, seeking to expand his empire. His thirst for power knows no bounds, and even Asgard is not safe from his tyranny. Odin, seeing what his son has become, is powerless to stop him. Thor imprisons his father, taking the throne for himself and ruling with a cruelty that makes even the frost giants tremble. We cut to a final visual of Thor sitting on Odin's throne, the skulls of his enemies at his feet, with lightning storms raging in the sky above Asgard. Hulk, the beast unleashed. We cut to a visual of Bruce Banner transforming into a monstrous version of the Hulk, with dark skin and glowing red eyes, his muscles bulging with uncontrolled rage. Bruce Banner, the brilliant scientist cursed with a monstrous alter ego. But in this timeline, Banner doesn't see the Hulk as a curse. He sees it as the ultimate expression of power. No longer fearing the monster within, Banner uses his intellect to push the limits of the Hulk's power, embracing the beast and letting it consume him. We cut to scenes of the Hulk rampaging through cities, his roars shaking the ground as he smashes everything in his path with unstoppable force. Banner's descent into madness leads him to unleash the Hulk on the world with no restraints. He revels in the destruction, watching as governments and armies fall before his might. No longer a hero fighting to control his power, Hulk becomes a living weapon of mass destruction, driven by a rage that can never be quenched. Banner's transformation is no longer just physical, it's psychological. The more he becomes the Hulk, the less of Bruce Banner remains. Eventually, the Hulk is all that's left, a being of pure rage with no conscience or morality. The world's greatest minds band together to stop him, but their efforts are in vain. Hulk tears through every defense, leaving nothing but ruin in his wake. He becomes a force of nature, an unstoppable hurricane of destruction that can only be endured, never defeated. Cut to a final visual of Hulk standing amongst the ruins of a once great city, his chest heaving with rage as the ground cracks beneath him, fires burning in the distance. Black Widow, the Widowmaker. Natasha Romanoff, we see her in a sleek black assassin suit, her eyes cold and calculated, her weapons ready to strike from the shadows. Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, trained from childhood to be the perfect assassin. In this reality, she never escapes the clutches of the Red Room. Instead, she rises through its ranks to become the world's most feared killer, known only as the Widowmaker. We cut to scenes of Black Widow executing high-profile targets with deadly precision, leaving no trace behind as she manipulates global events from the shadows. As the Widowmaker, Natasha becomes the ultimate weapon in a world of shadows and intrigue. She plays governments and corporations against one another, always staying one step ahead. Her name is whispered in fear by those in power, knowing that once she's on the hunt, there is no escape. When Natasha transformed into the Widowmaker, she takes control of the Red Room itself, turning into a global network of assassins and spies. She uses her influence to destabilize nations, topple regimes, and eliminate anyone who poses a threat to her plans. The world becomes her chessboard, with every piece moved to further her own goals. No one knows who she truly works for, or what her ultimate aim is, but they all feel the Widowmaker's deadly touch. 6. Hawkeye, the merciless marksman. We cut to scenes of Clint Barton perched on a rooftop, his bow replaced by an array of advanced lethal weapons, his eyes cold and calculated as he targets his next victim. Clint Barton, the master archer, becomes a master assassin in this reality. This time, Clint doesn't join S.H.I.E.L.D. Instead, he chooses to become a mercenary, selling his deadly skills to the highest bidder. No longer bound by any code of honor, Hawkeye becomes the deadliest killer for hire, known always for hitting its mark. We cut to scenes of Hawkeye taking out high-profile targets from impossible distances, working as a hired gun for the world's most dangerous organizations. Hawkeye's precision is unmatched, and his morality is gone. He takes contracts from anyone who can afford his price, regardless of their intentions. We see governments, criminals, and warlords alike fearing the mark of his arrow, knowing that if Hawkeye takes the shot, it's always fatal. In this world, he's not a hero. He's a remorseless executioner, dealing death with cold efficiency. We start to see Clint spiral into darkness when he loses everything: his family, his friends, his purpose. He becomes disillusioned and bitter, embraces the life of a mercenary, finding solace in the simplicity of his new existence. Each kill brings him further away from the man he once was, until all that's left is the cold, calculating marksman who never misses. The Avengers try to bring him back, but he sees them as nothing more than targets, just another job to complete. The team up. The Dark Avengers. We cut to a group shot of all of the Avengers in their villainous forms, standing together as a team, but one that the world fears instead of admires. In this dark reality, the Avengers aren't Earth's mightiest heroes. They're Earth's greatest threat. Together, they form a team of villains so powerful that no one can stand against them. Their actions reshape the world into a place of fear, chaos, and domination, where all hope is lost. Thanks for exploring this dark universe with us. If you enjoyed this dive into the darker side of the Marvel multiverse, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss an episode. And feel free to let us know in the comments, how do you think the MCU would look if the Avengers had taken this darker path? Until next time, stay super.